Hello everyone. Today we will discuss the Gulf War and its significance in international security. The Gulf War was a major international conflict that occurred between 1990 and 1991 after Iraq invaded Kuwait under the leadership of Saddam Hussein. This war became one of the most important military conflicts after the Cold War because it involved large international coalitions led by the United States and supported by the United Nations. The Gulf War not only changed politics in the Middle East, but also influenced the developments of international security, military cooperation, and global diplomacy.
To understand the Gulf War, we must first understand the background. After the Iran-Iraq War ended in 1988, Iraq faced serious economic problems and large debts. Iraq accused Kuwait of overproducing oil, which lowered global oil price and damaged Iraq's economy. In August 1990, Iraq invaded Kuwait and quickly occupied the country. Saddam Hussein claimed that Kuwait historically belonged to Iraq and accused Kuwait of stealing oil from Iraq territory. However, the international community viewed this invasion as a violation of international law and state sovereignty.
In response to Iraq's invasion, the United Nations strongly condemned Iraq and demanded immediate withdrawal from Kuwait. The UN Security Council imposed economic sanctions against Iraq and later encouraged the use of military force through the resolutions 678. A coalition of more than 13 countries led by the United States was formed to liberate Kuwait. Countries such as United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, and France also joined the coalition. The first operation was called Operation Desert Shield, which focused on protecting Saudi Arabia and preparing military force. Later, Operation Desert Storm began in January 1991 with massive airstrikes against Iraqi military targets.
I have today directed the Secretary of Defense to increase the size of U.S. forces committed to Desert Shield to ensure that the coalition has an adequate offensive military option should that be necessary to achieve our common goals.
One important aspect of the Gulf War was the use of advanced military technologies. The coalition's force used precision-guided missiles, stealth aircraft, satellite communications, and real-time media coverage. This made the Gulf War one of the first modern high-technologies war in history. The war also showed the military superiorities of coalition's forces. Air power played a major role in weakening Iraqi defenses before the ground offensive began. Another important feature was the global media coverage. Television networks such as CNN broadcast live reports from the battlefield, allowing people around the world to follow the war in real time. This changed how international conflict was viewed by the global public.
The Gulf War had major impacts on international security. The first one is the war demonstrated the importance of collective security through the United Nations. Many countries cooperated to stop aggression and restore quiet sovereignty. The second is the war strengthened the military influence of the United States in the Middle East. After the war, the US increased its military presence in the region. The last one is the conflict created long-term instability. Iraq faced economic sanctions for many years, and tension in the Middle East continued to grow. Some experts believe that the Gulf War also contributed to future conflicts, including the Iraq War in 2003. The war also raises discussion about humanitarian issues, civilian casualties, and environmental damage, especially the burning of quality oil fields.
Ten stealth bombers were just minutes away from downtown Baghdad. The stealth was designed to be invisible to radar, but to be safe, the Air Force started jamming Baghdad's radar defenses. The jamming gave the game away. The Iraqi radars were blinded, but 3,000 anti-aircraft guns and 60 missile batteries began firing wildly into the sky.
That night, orders came from headquarters to fire back any way we could, even if it meant closing our eyes and firing into the sky. You see, it was so dark, and the aircraft were coming so quickly, and we didn't have the capability to aim accurately. That's why they told us, put up a barrage of fire any way you can.
In the approaching stealth bombers, the pilots saw the firestorm of shells and missiles exploding above the city. They flew straight towards it.
As I'm flying in, the aircraft is actually being buffeted by the AAA exploding. Looking back, it's kind of like an old World War II movie where they sit in the cockpit of their B-29s and bounce around over Dresden.
Dolson's bomb destroyed Iraq's main telephone exchange.
I just remember looking over my shoulder, and I thought to myself, you know, it's a miracle. There's no way anybody else is coming out of there.
Saddam Hussein's admission of the supergun program has reinforced the belief that he will only reveal the truth when he feels under threat.
British commandos have been finding out, though, about them, fighting their way through Abu al-Qasib, the back door to Basra. Seizing and destroying arms dumps, collecting POWs, 3,250 or so now being held in the British sector.
Yes, we've captured 2 officers and 5 other ranks, including a lieutenant colonel and a major. They're being processed now.
So it's been a successful morning so far?
So far, but still a lot to do, yeah.
Foot patrols and Challenger tanks moving ever nearer Basra, and all the time the Iraqi people looking on, somewhat bemused. 2 men, though, were definitely pleased to see the invaders, Kenyan drivers of an aid convoy kidnapped by Iraqi militias 10 days ago.
They beat us and take everything we have. Money, everything we don't have anything.
2 days ago their captors fled, and this morning locals in Azerbaijan tipped off soldiers of the Black Watch who went round and picked them up.
They were very happy to see the boys. I think they've obviously been under a few stressful days. So, as you can imagine, seeing the jocks scream in there, you know, they were happy.
The children still stand beneath the mural of Saddam, which the British haven't got their hands on, and chant their leader's name here. They have just 4 British Army bases at the edge of this town of 150,000 people. Often the business of doling out clean water, winning hearts and minds, looks more like riot control.
Goodbye, Saddam!
In the end, the Gulf War was not only a regional conflict, but also a major event in international security. The war showed how international organizations, military alliances, and advanced technology could influence global conflict management. It also demonstrated both the strengths and limitations of collective security systems in maintaining peace and stability. Today, the Gulf War remains an important example in the study of international relations and international security because its impacts can still be seen in global politics and Middle Eastern affairs. Thank you for watching.